Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Her son paid the ultimate price. Now the grieving mother of Officer Doss opens up for the first time about her hero.
It was my worst fear.
Tonight, her message to the accused in the case and how she plans to move forward.
Dog left for dead. This pup is on his way to better days thanks to a local rescue group.
But we'll begin tonight at 11 with a winter weather alert as another round of snow is approaching southeast Michigan. In fact, a winter weather advisory going into effect overnight.
We just can't catch a break, can we? And the snow will likely make for a messy morning commute. Ben Bailey is here to warn you to pack your patience, Ben.
It is going to be tough sledding as we get started tomorrow morning. 4 Live radar for the most part is clean. There's some returns that are showing up down here towards the state line, but there are no reports of that snowfall making it to the ground just yet. Likely this is mid-level moisture, but we will be seeing that snow develop overnight, probably closer to about 2, 3 in the morning. The winter weather advisory, not necessarily for the amount of snow we're expecting, but really the timing of it, because the heart of the snowfall is going to be during the heart of the commute tomorrow morning. So here the timing on it as we go from tonight to about 3 a.m. as we'll start seeing, maybe by 2 a.m. we'll see that snow develop in our south zone. That continues to spread through the area, and some of those bands will be moderate at times. By 8 a.m. we'll see most of the heavier bands out here to the east, but that snow continues until about 10 a.m. Then things start to dry out as we head towards morning, and we'll spend the second half of the day dry. A general 1 to 3 inches, with the 3 probably coming down here in our south zone in parts of Lenawee County by midday tomorrow. Temperatures cold, but at least the winds will be light, and we should be dry at least in our west zone by 10 a.m. Still seeing some of those snow showers on the east side. And as Kim said, it is not the only chance of snow. We'll be talking more about that coming up, guys.
All right, Ben, wake up with Local 4 News today starting at 4:30 a.m. We'll have lots of updates on weather and traffic on the 4s, in fact. And then before hitting the road, tune into our CarCast, which will be live updates on the road. You can listen from our Facebook page or from the Click on Detroit app starting at 7 a.m.
Well, she knew her son chose a dangerous job, but it was one he loved. Tonight, the mother of fallen officer Glenn Doss Jr. is opening up about the night he was killed in the line of duty.
Jermont Terry sat down with her and joins us now with more on how she wants to honor her son. Jermont.
Devin and Kimberly, this mother wants to make sure that her son's fellow officers are most definitely protected when they are continuing to do the job. Now, this mother tells me she wants to make sure that they have helmets that will protect officers when they are called to a scene when they know shots are fired. And tonight, this mother opens up about her love, her loss, and the legacy of her baby boy. Glenn Doss Jr. is known as the heroic Detroit officer who paid the ultimate sacrifice. But Nicole Flowers addresses the proud cop as...
That was Mama's Pooh Bear.
The heartache this mother feels may never go away.
I just wanted my baby back. I wanted my baby too.
Now she's forced to cope with the void she knew was a possibility the minute her son joined the department.
Did you have any hesitation about your baby joining the force?
It was always hesitation because the world is changing.
On the morning Doss is shot in the head, this mother has a lengthy conversation with her son.
So I said, baby, do you like your job? Just sincerely, I wanted to. He said, Mama, I love what I do. This is what I wanted to do. And I said, okay.
That same night, officers come to her front door.
And I just start screaming that, is my baby dead? Is my baby dead?
They rush her to Receiving Hospital.
I got to see him before surgery. I looked at him and I just told him to just keep breathing.
4 days go by before he takes his last breath. She's speaking for the first time, has avoided all news coverage, and hasn't seen the suspected killer until now.
This is DeCharlos Brooks, the man sitting in jail accused of taking your son's life.
I'm angry. I'm angry because you don't want to be accountable for what you did.
Flowers scoffs at Brooks' defense, suggesting mental illness.
This is definitely an act.
Besides the 9-month-old Doss leaves behind, he also has 2 younger brothers, one who expresses this mother's dilemma.
Because he says, I hate the man who shot my brother. I hate the man who killed Glenn. Mommy, I hate him. What do you say to a baby when he says that to his mama. You want to tell him, no, we don't hate people. How can you correct it in your child when you feel it in your heart?
And that mother is taking her pain and again trying to protect the fellow officers still on the streets of Detroit. She has set up and starting the DOS Fund, which will essentially help get the protective helmets, bulletproof helmets for officers. Now, I had a chance to talk to her for a very long time, more than 30 minutes. We have more clips of that interview on clickondetroit.com and more about the DOS Fund and how you can help. Just go to our website. For now, reporting live, I'm Jamont Terry, Local 4.
All right, quite a conversation, Jamont.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the Larry Nassar abuse investigation is widening in Michigan. Former owner of Twistars and former Olympic gymnastics coach John Geddert is facing a criminal investigation. The Eden County Sheriff's Office says people have come forward with complaints against him. Some of the young athletes who confronted Nassar in court said Geddert was physically abusive. Yesterday, Nassar was sentenced to 40 to 125 years in prison for sexually abusing young gymnasts.
He was found outside in the freezing cold with a hook piercing through his skin and fur. But tonight, one very lucky dog is on the road to better days thanks to the Detroit Dog Rescue. Mara McDonald live at Animal Control with more. Mara.
Hi, Devin. You know, Detroit Animal Control found this dog in the first place, handed it over to the Detroit Dog Rescue when they realized the enormity of what they were dealing with here. Now, this dog has been through a lot, and some of this video and some of these pictures are pretty rough. But if you hang through it, you realize that there's a really happy ending here. It hurts to look at it. This is only part of the heavy chain with hook that was in the fur and skin growing into the throat of this Shepherd Rottweiler mix. The stench from the decayed flesh so bad, by the time Christina Rinaldi from Detroit Dog Rescue got her hands on him, it would blow you over.
What it was this, it's called a carabiner. It's almost like a hook, and you can see how rusted and bloody it is, was looped inside the skin of his neck, rubbing up against his trachea. It had been in his neck for several weeks. I mean, this is something you see in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, in some kind of twisted horror movie.
Christina knew immediately what she'd call him, to have been carrying that burden around and still love people. His name is Courage, and tonight, his fortunes have already changed.
I couldn't imagine the magnitude of pain, but the whole time, he's been the bravest boy. He's wagging his tail, he's giving hugs, he's leaning into people, and he just has the most courage.
After emergency surgery, he's already up and checking everything out. He tested positive for heartworm and will be treated for that too. Medical bills for this 3-year-old pup will easily cash out at $10,000. But tonight, the Bissell Foundation has stepped in to say it will pick up the whole bill. Courage is a sweet boy. After all he's been through, he couldn't wait to give kisses. You can just see the potential and love radiating off of him.
I think we're going to have such a happy ending with this story, and that's every bit. You know, that's worth every bit of $10,000.
Back here live. So what's next for Courage? Well, he needs a medical foster, meaning he needs a foster that doesn't have other animals, because he's been through a lot and he needs a place to sort of chill out, relax, and recover, and then he'll be ready to be adopted. If you'd like more information about Courage and DDR, all you have to do is go to our website. That's clickondetroit.com. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
All right, Mara, you have to wonder what people are thinking.
I just don't get it.
It
But he looks so ready to play. Really a sweet-spirited dog, obviously. More than 5,000 DTE customers in Oakland County without power right now.
Right now, DTE is working to find the cause of the outage. The Clarkston Fire Chief says they've opened a warming station at Fire State 1 on Citation Drive. There's no word on when the power will be restored.
Tough night for that problem.
Yeah, it really is. About 50,000 GM factory workers are taking home almost $12,000 later this month. The car company made $12.8 billion before taxes, which is what profit sharing checks are based on. Last year, GM paid about the same amount, $12,000, to 52,000 employees.
New tonight, handled without care. A delivery driver put on blast for the way he drops off packages on one customer's porch.
Plus, through the living room, dining room, and out the front yard, what caused a car to crash through a house.
But first, Meryl Davis and Charlie White, the first American ice dancers to win gold at the Olympics. And now Meryl shares the impact her latest role is having.
I didn't know how much it would affect me and just how much it would teach me.
And we'll show you how Local 4 is putting her to work for the upcoming Winter Olympic Games.
We can change.
Find your morning moment here. Does the season have you down? This week is all about changing your mood from winter funk to winter fun.
On Local 4 News today, we're helping you battle the winter blues.
From product tests to fitness trends, find out how you can brighten your day despite the weather outside. Tomorrow.
I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Tomorrow at 6 a.m., I'll show you surprising ways to lift your spirits. No plane ticket required.
The moment you wake up, turn to Local 4 News Today.
The excitement keeps building. Olympic competition starts in just 2 days with the figure skating team event.
4 short years ago, Metro Detroit's own Merrill Davis and Charlie White skated into history as the first American ice dancers to win Olympic gold. Life hasn't stopped for Merrill since, and she'll be taking on a new role during this Olympics. Millions watched as Merrill Davis and her skating partner Charlie White brought home gold during the 2014 Sochi Games. The Metro Detroit natives have been ice dancing together since they were 8 or 9 years old. But this year, they're sitting out the Olympics in South Korea and retiring from competing. I caught up with Merrill about what she's been up to and what's ahead for one of the best ice dancers in the world. So how's it going to feel with you watching from home this time around?
Yeah, you know, now that we're nearing the games, it feels very right for me to embrace another challenge, embrace something different.
That something different doesn't mean she's hanging up the skates completely. She'll still skate professionally, traveling the world, doing skating tours and shows for entertainment.
March, march, march. Good job.
She's also giving back to the community by teaching figure skating to young girls in a program called Figure Skating in Detroit.
I didn't know how much it would affect me and just how much it would teach me. So Figure Skating in Detroit is an educational program for young girls that uses figure skating as a tool to teach them lessons like setting goals, persevering through the challenges, but it also has a really large academic component.
And speaking of academics, Merrill is in school herself, working on a degree in anthropology.
And I've been going to school at the University of Michigan since 2006. It's been a long haul.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to be done in about a year.
Which is just about the time she's planning to get married, becoming engaged last year to Fedor Andreev, a former professional figure skater whom she's been dating for more than 6 years. She broke the news to her fans on Instagram by posting this blinged out, gorgeous, square-cut yellow canary diamond. The two have added something else to the family that she says has changed her life for the better.
I mean, nothing makes you de-stress like watching a little puppy, right? So I told myself after the Olympics are over, I'll be able to get a dog.
That dog is a miniature sheepadoodle named Bilbo.
It sounds ridiculous, but I feel like it's made me a better person because I can just appreciate like authenticity and just enjoying life. Yeah. And that's something that I think being a very goal-oriented person, I haven't always been able to do. And so it sounds crazy, but no, she's been a really beautiful part of my life.
And if teaching, traveling, skating professionally, going back to school, getting married, and raising a puppy weren't enough, we here at Local 4 are putting her to work too. Merrill is joining the WDIV team during the Olympics, doing feature reports and commentary for the station's Olympic Zone, a program that will air at 7:30 most nights during the games.
I'm excited to be working with Channel 4, and it was time for us to step away from competitive skating, and the Olympic Games is always going to be a huge part of my life, and it's a huge part of who I am and those experiences, but I'm really excited to be home in Detroit and working on a new challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are excited to have her join the Local 4 family. I have no doubt she's going to be a great reporter.
No doubt.
She grew up right here in West Bloomfield, and she has what I like to call, what I see in a lot of people that are from here, that spirit of Detroit where she works hard. She's not afraid to work, so we're looking forward to it. And I do need to let you know, too, she's leading a GoFundMe campaign during the games with a goal of raising $25,000 for figure skating in Detroit. I'm going to be doing a story in a couple of weeks to tell you more about that organization, but if you'd like to know more in the meantime, we put a link on the Olympics page of our website. Click on Detroit.com.
To help Detroit become even more of a capital of world skating than it already is. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. It would be great to have Merrill with us. Here's a look at what Bernie is working on for tomorrow night.
The opening ceremony is Friday night right here on Local 4, and when you watch, you'll notice something different.
It's not about me, it's about what I can best do for the audience in that role.
There's a new face of NBC's Olympic coverage. His name, Mike Tirico. But he's not letting a little title like that get to his head.
There's not one person who is putting on the Olympics and say, hey, Mike's on, let's watch. Maybe my family, and that's a borderline call with my family.
Tirico's been studying his international athletes and sharpening his wit.
Medvedeva, who is the favorite in the women's figure skating. I know you were watching her highlights weekend at Bernie's a few weeks ago. I know that was a big feature for you.
It's Mike Tirico on the eve of his first go-around as Olympic host, tomorrow at 11.
We are all big members of Team Tirico.
Oh,
we love Mike, and that's really going to be great to watch him in that role. Well, we got more trouble coming, huh?
We do. Unfortunately, it is probably at the worst time of the day that you could expect it, and it is going to be in the morning. Here's a look at where that snow is right now. It is west of Chicago. A couple of the fingers are trying to get there into northern Indiana and cross the border, but as we told you at the top of the show, a lot of what's showing up on the radar here just along the Ohio state line is most likely moisture that's not making it to the ground. All the Toledo reporting sites still coming up just cloudy and dry, but once we get closer to about 2, 3 in the morning, that's when we'll start to see the snow. These are two guys that don't have to make a commute in the morning. They're just out enjoying lunch out on, I think that's in St. Clair Shores. Yeah, Kim was out feeding them lunch today with the sun that was out. I'm sure it was an enjoyable dining experience for those two. But we are going to be seeing more of that snow that's going to really gum up the works for the commute tomorrow morning. Here's some good news. 19 air temperature. That's not the good news. This is wind chills are matching the temperature because we've got calm winds. And tomorrow the winds are going to remain light. Probably around 7 to 10 miles an hour throughout the day. So wind chills will have a very minor effect on how it feels. We've just got to get through that snow in the morning. So once that gets through, and it'll be done by about 10 or 11 in the morning, I think by 10 most of that snow will be on the east side, and by 11 we should all be finished. In the afternoon there will be some scattered snow showers that sort of wrap around the backside of this, but it's not going to appreciably add to the accumulations. We're expecting that that's going to be a couple tenths at best. But once we get into Thursday night, our next round of snow starts showing up, and this one is sort of a stripe. You see it laying along this stationary boundary that's going to be set up just to our south, so that'll just focus that snow right along it all the way through the day on Friday. Now, we're getting some indication from some of these latest model runs that this boundary may sink a little bit further south. If that's the case, that could reduce our accumulations. But as it looks right now, this Friday snow may be the biggest that we've got this week. But let's focus on tonight and tomorrow for the commute. And here's what we're expecting. And again, most of the snow wrapped up by lunchtime, about 2.5 inches in the city. Most of the metro zone with that 2-inch total. South zone, you're going to be the big winners tomorrow out here in Lenawee County with 3-inch plus totals. Slightly less, but pretty close to 3 out here in Monroe County. And as you get further to the north, those numbers do start to decrease. Close to 3 in Manchester, but all the way up into Genesee County, we're looking at 1-inch plus totals near Flint. And in our north zone, again, these are some of the counties that are not in that winter weather advisory. Sanilac, Lapeer County, 1-inch totals and closer to 2 down towards M59 by midday tomorrow. Otherwise, high temperatures getting to 26. And again, some of those scattered snow showers show up in the afternoon. Pretty inconsequential. And then temperatures stay in the 20s all the way through Monday of next week. We will not be above freezing until Tuesday. Yeah. So this snow is going to be here, sort of a pre-Olympics coating.
All of it sticks around. Wow.
All right, Ben. Well, she is $560 million richer, but she refuses to claim her prize. Why a Powerball lottery winner won't come forward.
It's fascinating. But first, this car doesn't just crash into a house, it goes through it. What led to this crash? Coming up. Scary scene in Oklahoma City when a car plows through a home. The owner and his wife were inside when it happened. They said the driver first drove through a fence and then ran right through the house. People quickly rushed to the car to help the driver. Police said the driver had a medical problem just before the crash, but is going to be okay.
A man in Ohio is upset after catching a delivery driver carelessly tossing packages on his front porch. Security video shows the driver walking up to the home and tossing one of the packages. The driver then goes and grabs another package from his truck and tosses that one onto the porch as well. The company who hired the driver is investigating.
Interesting dilemma. If you won the lottery, would you want anyone to know? A New Hampshire woman won the $560 million Powerball jackpot. She is now suing to try to stay anonymous. She claims if the lottery releases her name, it would amount to an invasion of her privacy. She says she made a huge mistake by signing her name on the back of the ticket to, of course, enshrine her win. But the lottery is standing firm, saying once your name is on the back of the ticket, you lose confidentiality. It's a state law, apparently, that the winner has to come forward. And she's just afraid of all the attention it's going to bring.
Oh, my goodness.
Interesting.
Yeah, she should get back to half. She should get back that $500 million. That'll teach her. Michigan State, a big win in Iowa City. Here we go. Yeah, big. Not so good for Michigan. Not so good for the Red Wings. And a little bit we call higher calling, featuring Blake Griffin. Come on back.